Beautiful downtown Blue Ridge, Georgia at Blue Jeans Pizza, and we're just about to have some delicious breakfast pizza right after the show, so I'm obviously very excited for that. And so come check it out sometime. You're free to come and watch the show airing live every Friday morning. We're going to be switching over to Sycamore Crossing, right across the street from where we're at right now at Blue Jeans. And are we switching over there next week or the next? In 2 weeks, we'll be at Sycamore Crossing. So make sure you can make it out there with us because it'll be a good time. The weather will be great. It'll be a perfect time to stand outside and get your news in instead of sitting at home on the couch. So we have a team at FYN now. Apparently, it's the FYN Psychic team, the Fetch Your News Psychic team, because BKP happened to predict the future just a little bit. And I had to write about it, and I had to post about it on fetchyournews.com. So that's what I did. So our psychic team, we knew that no one was going to win the special election. We had come together, we had put our heads together, we put our crystal balls together, and we determined no one was going to win that night. So, and it was, you know, it was just a prediction, but it was right because he was not, John Ossoff was not going to get that extra 1% from the Democratic Party. Why? Because the Republicans are equally split, and so are the Democrats, and there's party division within both of the parties. So we titled the article, "No One Will Win the Seat for Georgia's 6th Congressional District." News about the 6th District special election was buzzing everywhere. We all know that. It's been nationally covered, and they all hope to see John Ossoff flip the 6th. Well, the whole Democratic Party, of course. While Republicans, of course, hope that the district remain the same, as it's been historically, traditionally conservative. So the winner was obviously not to be determined, although people were preparing themselves for the results. And John Ossoff was definitely preparing himself for a win. He even gave a victory speech without even winning the election. So that's a little presumptuous, just to be honest, not even being biased here, Republican or Democratic. That's, you know, it's presumptuous. Yes, he got an overwhelming amount of votes, but I don't believe it was a victory whatsoever. In fact, I believe that was a big hint into the corruption of his campaign. So, and we'll get around to that later. So the winner of the seat needed to get more than 50% of the votes. That wasn't going to happen for Ossoff. Nope, no way, not that night. And then if none of the candidates received more than 50, well, then it would go off to the runoff, which it will be going on June 20th. The runoff will take place. So while you're in Florida on your vacation or before you go out of town for the 4th of July, if you are in the 6th District, including Sandy Springs and Milton, and I believe Johns Creek as well, and around that, you know, immediate area, make sure you stay posted, make sure that your district, if you have not voted, check and see if that's your district, if you're listening in today and you think that might be you. So the top two candidates, Karen Handel and John Ossoff, will be in the runoff toe-to-toe. Now the question is, do the Republicans have a chance at this election? And me personally, I believe that they do. And I'll explain why when we get to the polls, and we'll see how the polls kind of turned out, or how they turned out that night to prove that Karen Handel does have a shot. So the polls already indicated prior to the final results that the Democratic and the Republicans were both polarized amongst themselves. But they still thought, Ossoff still thought he could pull it off. But my question was, there were 18 candidates in the race. How could the majority of voters be expected to choose one candidate out of so many? Well, they couldn't and they didn't, but the Democratic voters almost did. As miraculous as that sounds, the Democratic voters almost pulled it off. And the fact that they can all come together and vote for one candidate when there's 5 candidates just screams corruption to me, in my opinion, because these were all 5 very proficient and active, involved candidates that were running for the 6th District against the, well, comparably inexperienced John Ossoff. He's only 30 years old. He is comparably highly inexperienced. And the fact that he had 48% of the votes is alarming, in my opinion. It shows the corruption. It exemplifies the national intervention into this local campaign. It only proves his wrongdoing. It really makes him look worse if you think about the logic. So, historically, traditionally a Republican district, as we know, he wants to flip the 6th. So here we have him now as a runoff candidate against Karen Handel, Republican candidate. Now, as I said, he's only 30 years old. He's also very charming and eloquent. I had the pleasure of meeting him at a Democratic forum at Andretti's a couple of months ago when I was there with BKP. And he's extremely charming and eloquent. He's a lot like Obama in that way. You know, Obama is known for being almost scary eloquent to the point where, you know, he could sell you a ketchup popsicle in white gloves. He could just be so cunning. And Jon Ossoff has that same appeal. So it's no wonder that the Democratic National Committee wants to support this guy, because he honestly, and I said this earlier on the show with BKP, he looks like a poster child. You know, he's good looking, he's lean. And I was listening to a radio show that mentioned, you know, he appeals to the homosexual population that is relatively high in the 6th district of Georgia. So actually, his looks have been used to attract voters. So that's another con. Not only the $8 million, but just the way he looks alone is a con to get voters. Now, that's all speculation. That's not a fact, that's all speculation, obviously. So, you know, something strange about Ossoff that I noticed, he deleted his past Twitter account. And he created a new Twitter account when his campaign began. That's strange. Why would he want to delete his past tweets? Why would he want there to be no history of his past tweets available to the public? These tweets are protected. No one can view them, unless I think you were already following him before the account was retired. But I don't believe you can anyway. So there's been a lot of speculation that he's exaggerated his experience, claimed by many, including John Bolton, an ambassador to the United Nations, who stated to the AJC in the beginning of April, before the election, of course, that he is outright deceiving many Georgians. Jon Ossoff is. He has been questioned by many for misrepresenting his receiving money from the DNC. Even at the forum that I attended with BKP, he was called out by Richard Keatley. And also for getting the out-of-state money from California, Massachusetts, etc., and living outside of the 6th district. He does not even vote in the district for which he is running. Just when you think it can't get any worse, there's more to it, and we could dig and dig and dig and keep finding this kind of information, but we don't have all day. So meanwhile, amidst all these facts about him that are pointing to corruption, 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 he is screaming out grassroots and praising grassroots organizations for working to flip the 6th. So I have a question for him, of course. How did he raise so much money in such little time? Well, obviously, national intervention and social intervention, also by Hollywood. He had the support of Hollywood. And so I don't really think that was from all those grassroots that he's touting that support him. I don't know, maybe I'd have to ask him personally. So anyway, Karen Handel, to the contrary, before we wrap it up, because we're going to have to take a break in about 30 seconds here. So Karen Handel is 55 years young. She's, you know, lived a whole nother life compared to Jon Ossoff. She has lived 25 years longer than Jon Ossoff. And in addition to her life experience alone, she's a former Secretary of State of Georgia, former Secretary of State of Georgia, and a member of the Republican Party. She's worked in business as well before entering politics for extensive periods of time with various different roles. She's also worked with Steve Gooch, who was just our guest speaker, Senator Steve Gooch, that spoke with BKP just 30 minutes ago. So anyway, we're going to cut to a break, and we're going to get to the special election results and go over the polls. And I'm going to tell you exactly how Karen Handel not only has a shot at winning the election, but how she can and will win the runoff election against the corrupt Democratic candidate.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks. So let Circuit World deliver to you today.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Spring is one of the best times of year to visit the North Georgia mountains. Not only do we celebrate fall apples in Gilmer County, we celebrate the blossoms of spring. The Georgia Apple Blossom Festival brings one exciting weekend to East Ellijay, Georgia. This free, pet-friendly event has over 50 hand-selected regional vendors offering food, art, crafts, kids' activities, and more. For more information, visit GeorgiaAppleBlossomFestival.com.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
At Days Chevrolet in Jasper, we make everything better. And no matter what vehicle you drive, our new state-of-the-art service center can keep you running like new with factory-trained technicians, genuine parts, and value pricing. Even convenient Saturday service hours and online appointments. So if you want to extend the life of your vehicle, let the Days service experts help. Your better day is just ahead at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where we service whatever you drive.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hello, welcome back to the Katy Sissine Show. We are always addressing the indoctrination of the nation. In the indoctrination as of late, if you have not been tuned in with us, well, locally, that has made national headlines, is the Ossoff versus Handel runoff coming up this June 20th. Now, Ossoff received about 48.1% of votes in the polls. He only needed over 50% to win the race. So he was just a couple points shy of taking that race. But it was such a blessing that he didn't, because now the Republicans in the district have the chance and the opportunity to keep the Republican district a traditionally, as it has been traditionally and historically, a Republican district for good reason. And it has taken $8 million of nationally funded money, most of it from California, also from Massachusetts, other liberal states, that have intervened in our local politics to flip one district in Georgia. to a Democratic district. And as we know, whoever gets this seat in the Congress for the 6th District has a shot at D.C., has a very good shot at D.C. It's a very prominent district, and whoever gets it, we're going to see in D.C. in the very near future. And we've discussed this earlier when we first started hearing about the election, so if you've been tuned in, then you're already caught up to speed on that. So as I said, the special election results, Ossoff had 48.1%, and Handel had about 20 at 19.78%. But where we start to see the significance in the polls is when we look at, of course, the amount or lack thereof of percentage points that their opponents got, their fellow conservative or liberal opponents. Ossoff's opponents got little to no votes, comparably, whereas the votes from the Conservative Party were more evenly distributed amongst a few separate candidates. Now, we've got a video of Karen Handel. She appeared on Fox the night after the election. And bear in mind, it's not going to show this in the video because we've cut through certain parts. But Ossoff refused to do this interview with Fox. He also refused to do an interview with FYN. So let's check out what Handel had to say.
And Karen, it's interesting because last night your opponent made it sound like he already won. Listen to this.
I know it has been a long evening, and it looks like it may be a longer one. But let me tell you this. There is no doubt that this is already a victory for the ages. We will be ready to fight on and win in June if it is necessary, and there is no amount of dark money, super PAC, negative advertising that can overcome real grassroots energy like this. This is not a story about me. This is a story about this community at this moment in history. This is a story about women in this community.
Oh, Karen.
What does he know about women in that community? You are a woman who lives in that community. He doesn't even live in the district.
I was just going to say, what does he even know about the community and the district? Because he doesn't vote here, doesn't even vote here.
So, Karen, as you look toward the runoff, how do you unite the Republicans? Because there were 11 different Republicans running in this primary yesterday, 18 candidates in all. He wound up with close to 50%. He was almost there. You wound up with 20. But how do you unite the Republicans so you can win?
You know, that's already started. I've talked to most of the other 10 Republicans last night or this morning. So we all know what's at stake, and we understand that this district has a long legacy of Republican leadership, from Secretary Tom Price to Senator Johnny Isakson, former Speaker Newt Gingrich. So we know that what's at stake here is bigger than any one person, and we will unite, and this seat will be held in the hands of a Republican come June 20th.
Karen, what about the fact that the Democratic candidate had $8 million pour in, a large majority of it from outside the district, of course, a lot from Hollywood, endorsements and money, but he's accusing you of accepting, quote-unquote, dirty money, dark money.
Welcome back to the Katy Sissine Show. From that brief clip provided by Fox, I got an interview exclusively with Karen Handel the day after the special election results came in, the morning after. And just to reiterate the funding by Ossoff, he had raised $8.3 million. This is by the New York Times, more than quadruple of the next closest candidate. That's absurd. And he obviously has a highly energized liberal base. This is what the New York Times has said. And they also said a majority was just out of reach in a district that has not sent a Democrat to Congress since the Carter administration. Well, they're not planning to send another Democrat to Congress in this administration either. And even President Trump had to speak on that publicly. So moving back to the video, Ossoff gave a victory for the ages speech. He has not won anything yet. He came out with a presumptuous speech saying that this was a huge victory at his lavish campaign party with, I'm guessing, people from out of state there to support him. And it was just, you know, in my opinion, just cocky, unnecessary behavior. I mean, it was not gracious at all. And then he went on to say that, you know, his victory, or victory into the runoff election, is a story not about him, but about the community. Bear in mind, he does not live in the 6th district. He doesn't even vote in the district. He's not part of the community, at least when it comes to question who they're voting in for Congress. So there he is speaking about something that he is not a part of. He also said, and this is even more mind-boggling, that this is a story about women in this community. Last time I checked, he was a male. And, okay, so he's not won yet. He is not part of the community that he is wanting to run. And he is playing the woman card. Karen Handel isn't even playing the woman card. I haven't even heard Karen Handel brag, you could say, or tout that she is a woman even once. And I'm sure she's been asked. It would be great to have a woman to represent the 6th Congressional District of Georgia. People are talking about flipping the 6th so much that they're forgetting that we could put a woman in the 6th Congressional District seat for Georgia. And then here we have Jon Ossoff playing the woman card and trying to take that away from Karen Handel. You can take all the money you want, Jon Ossoff, but you can't tell the world that you're going to help the women community by you winning this election, because you, in fact, are not a woman. As far as the public knows, you are a man. So you playing the woman card is actually funny, in my opinion. And not funny in the strange way, but like laugh funny. So 95% of his funds are from out of state. So of $8 million, approximately short of $500,000 is actually from Georgia. That's nothing. Not even $1 million is from Georgia. Most of it from California. He's got the Hollywood community involved. This guy screams corruption, and the Democrats just continuously eat it up. Now, for those of you out there who think the 6th district doesn't stand a chance, Karen Handel only has 20% of the votes, and Jon Ossoff had 48% of the votes. So how in the world, oh, of course, respectively, from the Republican and Democratic Party, their votes were split. The Republicans had about even 50% because the 6th district is split. The Democrats had about another 50% to get their votes. Jon Ossoff, 40, think of it as 48.1 of 50%. Karen Handel, 20% of 50%. She's a lot further than Jon Ossoff is from that 51% mark. Yes, I understand that. Yes, I can do simple arithmetic. So why is it that I think that Karen Handel will win the election? Because Jon Ossoff's campaign screams corruption, and everyone already knows that. And to boot, the polls prove it. Do we have the picture up of the polls? Great, okay, so as you can see, Jon Ossoff 48%, but here's where it gets interesting, and here's where you analyze, and you're like, okay, Karen Handel, you know, all the signs are pointing to yes for Karen Handel. She received about 20%. Now, put that off to the side. Karen Handel, 20%. Let's add up the other Republican candidates below in the red. We've got 11% from Bob Gray, 9% from Dan Moody, 9% from Judson Hill, and 2% from Kurt Wilson and David Abrams together. Now, you know, the psychic team didn't know that Karen Handel was going to take the Republican seat. Although we knew no one was going to win, we did not know Karen Handel was going to take the Republican seat because there is actually competition amidst the Republican Party, contrary to the Democratic Party, where it was a dictatorship in terms of power and, you know, and what's the word I'm looking for? Campaigning. It was a total dictatorship. He had all the assets, he had all the money, he had all the support. Is that what we want? Is that what we want in a republic? By the people, for the people? We want it run by people that have nothing to do with what we are? Because that's what Jon Ossoff is for the 6th District of Georgia. He is not what they are. He does not represent them. So 31% of Republican voters did not vote for Karen Handel. The other 31% voted for Bob Gray, Dan Moody, Judson Hill, Kurt Wilson, and David Abrams, other leading candidates in the race. So what does that mean? That Republicans can coalesce and unite for this victory for Karen Handel just as easily as Democrats can coalesce for Jon Ossoff. And that's why I think she's going to win, because she's not a corrupt, she doesn't have a corrupt reputation. She's 25 years older than Ossoff. She has a clean reputation. Well, everyone has a track record, right? But comparable to Jon Ossoff, She's clean as a whistle. So there is just, you know, he's got nothing on her. But the media wants you to think that he does have something on her. And that's why he's exaggerated his experience to the extent that he has. Because he obviously wants to look more distinguished and more refined when in fact he is not. He's only a 30-year-old guy. And I'm 24 years old. I would feel guilty at the age of 30 running against the opponents that Jon Ossoff ran against. He should literally feel guilty. How are we on timing? Okay, about a minute and a half. Okay, so we're coming to a break. We're coming to the close of the show for this Friday. But before we do, I want to go over Karen Handel's tweets. She tweeted to Judson Hill, thanking him for his support, and Judson Hill had 8.77% of the vote, so that's 9% of the vote granted to Karen Handel from Judson Hill. So his supporters need to come together for him and for Karen Handel and for the Republican Party in the bigger picture, as well as all the other voters of the other candidates from the Republican side, and coalesce for Karen Handel. She has the blessing of Judson Hill. She also has the blessing of Governor Nathan Deal. She said, thank you, Governor Deal, for your endorsement. Your support is critical as we unify our Republican Party. Not only was she endorsed by our governor, she was then endorsed by President Donald J. Trump. Let's see what President Donald J. Trump had to say. He said, Dems failed in Kansas and are now failing in Georgia. As I said, we all know Jon Ossoff is corrupt. And he said, great job, Karen Handel. It is now Hollywood versus Georgia on June 20th. I love that. Hollywood versus Georgia. He just nailed it on the head. And then he said, despite major outside money, which we talked about mostly from California and Hollywood, fake media support, which we know is fake. We all saw the Women's March, right? We all saw the acting in that, right? We all saw Madonna say she wanted to blow up the White House, right? Yes, we did. Fake media support and 11 Republican candidates, big R with the runoff in Georgia. Glad to be of help. Thank you, President Donald Trump. And now before we go, I want to share this last tweet, tweeted out by Trump Chick at @justmy_name here. And she was replying to @mag661. She tweeted that out to Ossoff's page as well. And do we have that lovely picture pulled up? It's a parody photo of Ossoff. Ossoff, because Democrats just don't care. And Trump Chick said, Dems' new slogan, we don't care what you want. Jon Ossoff, because Democrats just don't care about you. So I highly recommend to retweet that at @justmy_name here. I was tweeted out on the 19th, the day after the election. And, it just puts it all in a nutshell. It really does. As usual, we come full circle here. And on a humorous note, I love to end things on a humorous note, of course. And that's truly what you're saying if you blindly accept Jon Ossoff for the 6th District. Even if you do not live in the 6th District, you must be aware of this campaign. Because it's not about the 6th District. It is about the 6th District, but more importantly, it's about the indoctrination of the nation. It's about manipulation by the media. And that's exactly what's going on here with Jon Ossoff. He's not your guy for Congress. He's not a guy for Congress. He was a filmmaker, and maybe he should stick to that and stick with his closest sponsor, reportedly closest sponsor, Al Jazeera. So anyway, I think we got to wrap it up right now from Blue Jeans Pizza in beautiful Blue Ridge, Georgia. It is beautiful here today and beautiful in Blue Ridge, Georgia every day. You've got to come check it out. If you don't come up to the area often and you're from Metro Atlanta, it is a short hike driving north, and it's beautiful. Straight up 515, I believe, then 575 north, straight on. You don't even have to make a turn until you get to Cook Street. And you just hang it right there and you go straight down to Blue Jeans Pizza. So come see us. Remember, in a couple weeks on Sycamore Lane, we'll be outside. And thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, it's not over till it's over, or it ain't over till it's over, as said by the great Lenny Kravitz, in reference by me to the 6th District election. Thank you so much. We'll see you on Monday.